Number 6, Joe Rogan's favorite apocryphal UFO story might be true.
Nixon and Jackie Gleason were drinking, and they were having a good old time, and Nixon was like, "You want to see some shit? And I want to show you a UFO."
This is the full story. Picture Jackie Gleason at the height of his fame. The honeymooners, and away we go, the biggest grin in America. But behind the showman was a man with an obsession that bordered on religious. By 1973, Gleason had built a house in Peekskill, New York, shaped like a flying saucer. He called it the Mothership, with curved walls and a UFO library running to 1,700 books. He'd later subscribed to the UFO secrecy newsletter Just Cause, published by Citizens Against UFO Secrecy. This wasn't a bit. The funniest man in America genuinely believed we were not alone, and he wanted, more than almost anything, to know. Enter Richard Nixon. The two were genuine friends, golf partners, cigar companions. Gleason had been a longtime Nixon supporter. And here's the one piece of this story that is rock-solid documented fact. On February 19, 1973, Nixon met Gleason on the 18th green of a Florida golf course. Everything after this is where history ends and the legend begins. As the story goes, Nixon allegedly turned up at Gleason's door with no Secret Service present. The two men supposedly drove through the night to Homestead Air Force Base in Florida. Armed guards escorted Gleason to a building in a remote part of the base. Inside, the legend turns genuinely chilling. Gleason described going into an inner chamber where there were 6 or 8 what looked like glass-topped Coke freezers, and inside them, there were mangled remains he first took to be the bodies of children. Then the initial horror clarified itself. They were the embalmed bodies of 4 small alien beings, about 2 feet long, with small bald heads and big ears. This is the emotional core, and it's the detail that's launched 1,000 retellings. Gleason's wife Beverly said that around 11:30 p.m. that night, her husband came home, slumped white-faced into an armchair, and finally blurted, "I've been at Homestead Air Force Base, and I've seen the bodies of some aliens from outer space. It's top secret. Only a few people know. But the president arranged for me to be escorted in there and see them." The man who made a nation laugh sat in his own living room, rattled to his core. Gleason swore Beverly to secrecy, but here's where it gets very human. The marriage didn't last. After their divorce, Beverly, now Beverly McKittrick, freely discussed the story. And in 1983, she took it to a tabloid. She gave the interview to the National Enquirer, claiming the events happened on February 19, 1973, recounting exactly what Gleason told her. She'd reportedly written the whole saga up in an unpublished manuscript about Gleason called The Great One. Who knows if this story is true? It's certainly a weird chain of custody. But Spielberg depicted all of it, down to the core details, in Disclosure Day.